Can you hear me now? Yes, no on the audios. Wonderful. This is exciting. Okay. Good. So, welcome. Let's try this again. Welcome to this new moon in Leo mat work. So one morning, or not one morning, this was Monday, I spontaneously woke up and had this entire flow in my head. I even have it in my book because I want to honor it, and I want to make sure I don't ad lib because I have a tendency to just go off script a little bit and become spontaneous. But this was a flow that I just felt a really strong urge and calling to share with each of you. And during my drive here to where I'm streaming from Kink Pilates, that's where I work, here in Waltham, Mass. I just had this urge to do a YouTube live specifically tonight here to share it with each of you. So I hope you really enjoy it. With the new moon in Leo, I want us to capture and embody that energy that you would think of astrologically with Leos. Confidence, charisma, passion, desire, ambition, motivation, all that jazz, that fieriness. They're ruled by the sun and the lion, so you have that happy, joy, courageousness that goes with it. So with all of that said, I'm really hoping, or the intention of this flow for each of you is to find those Leo qualities and have them translate to your manifestation. So that way they can grow and come in and take shape and form, regardless of where you are on your journey, whether it's healing, whether it's more aligned action, or it's just flowing along and surrendering to the will of the universe. Before we get too deep into it, though, with it said, with this being a full moon flow, all Pilates, but more of a yoga mindset and framework. So, for example, we're going to start with a few moments, getting grounded and getting in our Pilates or Zen headspace, as I like to call it. And then we're going to start to flow into the Pilates. My biggest thing is you just marry the movement with your breath, listen to your body, see how it's feeling. I can't see you. So full permission to veto anything that I say. In fact, please know these are all suggestions. Listen to your healthcare provider, listen to your body. Props are welcomed. I have bala bangles on both my wrists and my ankles. I also have a pillow behind me I'm going to use as a prop in case you need a little extra assistance, whether it be for comfort, to do the moves a little bit more easily. Also, if you're pregnant, these same modifications I'll be showing, they may be for more comfortable if you have got a baby cooking in the oven there. But please listen to your body. And don't do anything that makes you feel queasy or anything like that. Aside from propping yourself up, this flow does meet pregnancy guidelines. So anybody who is pregnant, more than welcome to join. Froze a little bit. That's okay. Okay, we're back now. Anybody who's pregnant, babies and fur babies are also more than welcome to. This is approachable for all ages. I just ask that you listen to your body. So we're going to go ahead, get started. Find a nice comfy place on your mat. And right now, I have my pillow, or my prop is a pillow, just right behind you. And you're going to sit out front. Legs can be bent or straight, but sit up as tall as you can and just let your hands relax. And we're going to start by getting grounded. So I want you to just breathe. Nice, deep inhale in through the nose. And then exhale out through the mouth. And just keep going like this. Nice deep breath in and exhale out. And as you're breathing, I want you to envision a cord coming out through your hips, going towards the floor and going towards the core of the earth, reaching into the core as much as you can. And once your string or your cord reaches there, then I want you to envision light coming up from that cord with each inhale, slowly moving back towards your hips and then working up towards your spine, warming up your body as it goes through the hips, core, shoulders, and head. And then it's going to go through the crown of your head and up towards the ceiling. At any point where it brings you joy, let that light come down back towards your hips, and it's going to meet with the one or the core that came out through your hips as well to create one circle, so that way you become grounded and in unison with cosmic source, the universe, God, light, energy, whatever name you want to use for it. And breathe. Now we're going to add our spine into it. So as you inhale, I just want you to puff, look up towards the ceiling, feel your shoulder blades get closer together, nice round open chest. And then exhale, fold forward. Maybe you sink yourself back, but let your legs just chill as you breathe. You're just going to roll up on the inhale, open up. Maybe you find yourself in a baby back bend, and then exhale, roll down. And just keep flowing like this. Right now, we're just searching for the stretches. So if at any point as you move, if you want to stop, do a bend from side to side, maybe a little twist, that's totally fine too. This is more, again, we're searching for the stretches, honoring how our body is feeling. And if you touch upon this moment where it just feels like the cherry on top of your sundae as you twist, or if you're moving, go for it. Because on your next one, I'm going to scooch forward a little bit. You're going to go ahead, roll back and down. Pillow can be under your hips or it can be under your shoulders, but allow yourself to just be nice and heavy. Feet about hip distance apart, arms down by your side, and you're going to go ahead, tuck your hips towards your face. Press your lower back into the pillow or the mat, and then you're going to roll yourself up. Your lower back, middle back, upper back. Let the weight go into your shoulders as much as you can, and then you're going to melt yourself right back down. Upper back, middle back, lower back, unravel last, or your tailbone and hips are going to unravel last. Keep going as you roll up. Pause for a moment. Feel the stretch in the front body as you feel your back body turn on and work, and then roll and bring yourself right back down. This is nice. I enjoy bridging because, one, it brings me happiness. No pun intended. Just doing a bridge to happiness. But also, I like that I can feel the work in the back as I feel a stretch in the front. And again, this is just working on building strength and confidence. So right now, the strength in our back body is maybe giving us the confidence to just feel and stand taller. We're going to do a couple more like this, just flowing at your pace, because my stopwatch just started to go off. So we're going to keep time as best as we can. But on your next one, you're going to let yourself come up, hold. You're just going to lift one leg up. It can be bent or it can be straight. And then you're going to lower it right back down, hips staying nice and even, and then go to the other side. One leg lifts and then lowers. Marching from side to side, trying to keep the hips as even as you can, and lifting them up towards the ceiling. Press your foot and arms down into the mat to help to give you some leverage, and really feel your chest puff up towards the ceiling. Good. Again, we're just aiming for this to feel good and just honoring what our body can do. But I'm already starting to feel a little warm and sweaty, so maybe hopefully you are too. Good. On your next one, when both feet are touching, roll yourself back down. Switch your legs to a V foot. So heels are going to be together, toes are going to be apart, and your knees are going to go out towards either wall. Bridge from there. Roll up, feeling more side butt, side thighs, and then roll yourself right back down. And just keep going like this. Honoring your hamstrings, glutes, and all the muscles in your back. I know you have your extensors, and then maybe you might feel, what is it? Lats. Making me think back to college anatomy here. We're going to do one more. Go ahead, lift and lower. And then we're going to give ourselves a nice moment to reset. Feet are going to go into a parallel position. You're going to bring one leg into tabletop, and you're going to come up into your bridge. However you get to this position, whether one leg's down, lift, and then lift it, totally fine. But that leg that's up, you're going to lower it down. Maybe you tap the mat, maybe you don't, and then you lift it right back up towards Go ahead, lower down and lift. Pushing into your arms and your foot as you lift and lower. And really just the aim is to get your hips up as high as you can. And if your lower back is acting up too much, then don't bring them up as high. Or we're going to do this for another 3, 2, 1. Keep your leg up towards the ceiling. It could be straight or it can stay bent, but you're going to let it twist towards one side, come back to center, and then open up towards the other. So it's almost like you're making dashes in the ceiling as you go in one direction, back to center, and then towards the other side. Trying to keep your hips as even as you can. So these don't need to be like big, wild dashes going into the ceiling, just little tiny ones, honoring the shakes as you go forward and backwards. I can't help but think of my foot like a paintbrush as I go from side to side. Whew. Oh, I'm really starting to feel the burn now in the back body. Let's go ahead and bring our leg back to center, saved by the bell. We're going to make tiny circles going into the ceiling, really pushing your arms and your foot down into the mat and reaching your foot up. Good. And then we'll go ahead, reverse that direction, reaching, pressing. Again, like you're trying to poke a hole in the ceiling. And just keep going, making as much space as you can. For 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, lower that leg down, lower yourself down. Maybe take a moment to Sorry, I was told the mic went out. Let's try this. So you're going to reach your leg up towards the ceiling and just sway. Press your foot down into the mat, arms down by your side, and just honor wherever the leg is able to go. Then when you're ready, bring yourself back to center, reset, reach up towards the ceiling, and then make tiny circles. Going up towards the ceiling, keep reaching. Good. And then go ahead, reverse your direction. I'm going to take a moment to fix whatever is going on. Thanks for your patience, everybody, as we figure this. Now go ahead, finish your circles, roll down, knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice moment. Better. Nice! It's first live stream, we're still figuring out the kinks, no pun intended. All right, now we're in that lying down position. You're gonna go ahead. Let your legs be straight or bent, but arms, they're gonna go up and overhead. You're gonna go ahead, roll up. Right now, just look at your pants, see how far you're able to come up. Maybe it's here, but then you're gonna roll yourself all the way back down and arms go up and overhead. Keep flowing. I just wanna make sure we stay on time with our reps, or I have my stopwatch for 30-second intervals. We're going to keep to 30 seconds-ish. There'll be a moment where I go over, but my stopwatch is way better than my counting. Anybody who has attended my classes, they can confirm that for you. But just roll. Focusing on that C shape right now. As you roll back, arms go up overhead, and then come forward. Next one, we're going to bring our legs out long, if you can. So the same thing. Roll back and down. Let your arms go up and overhead, and then flow. Let yourself come up. Fold over your pants. Reach towards your toes as much as you can, and keep going. Roll back and down and over. Let your legs be heavy like a bag of cement. Curl up and over. Reach. Maybe you add a pulse or two, and then roll right back down. If you don't like the word pulses, bouncing works fine too. It makes me feel extra silly when I use the word bounce, though. Like, I can't help but think of the balls that you would get from the coin machines, the extra bouncy balls that would just bounce everywhere. Nice. We're going to go ahead, let this one be our last one, but you're going to stay in your roll-up position. So go ahead, sit up nice and tall. Legs are going to stay together, but go ahead and flex your toes towards your nose. Find your best posture. Bring your arms out to a T, maybe a little further back so you feel that nice puffy chest we started with. And I just want you to twist. Focus on the arms going back. Maybe you look over your shoulder, come back to center, and then twist towards the other side. Keep twisting, looking over your hands or your shoulders. And sometimes I like to do a bow and arrow with my arms. So you can go ahead, bring them back to center. You're going to bend one elbow, look over the shoulder, come back to center, and then twist with the other side. I like this because I get to keep pushing my feet forward towards the wall. That really helps to anchor my hips. So that way they don't move and I can twist the spine, getting that nice wet towel sensation that I'm looking for. Which, by the way, the more you anchor the hips and reach your head up towards the ceiling, the more you're going to feel that. Next time you come back to center, if you need to do one more twist so you feel even, go for it. But legs, they're going to go ahead, go nice and wide, maybe wider than the mat, maybe mat distance. They can be flexed or pointed, completely up to you. But hands, they're going to go in the center of your mat. I want you to tuck your chin towards your chest. Reach your hands towards your toes and over the mat. Let yourself fold forward and then roll yourself all the way back up. Feel that opening in your lower back and the back of the legs. You're just going to tuck your chin towards your chest. Find your C shape. Hands and feet go forward. Waistband and T-shirt go back. Really deep in the stretch. Reach a little bit more if you can. And then roll to bring yourself right back up. Flowing at your own pace. It really doesn't matter how fast or how slow you go. The pace that you're flowing at right now is the perfect pace for you in your journey. Just like me in that little hinge back. I don't know why I wanted to hinge back, but I did. We're going to go ahead, roll forward, roll right back up, and then one more time. Nice. Now, we're going to go ahead, go into the saw. If this doesn't work for your body, then just do any of the other variations that we did before, because we're essentially going to combine the two. So arms are going to go out to a T, feet or legs are as wide as you can manage, and you can flex your toes up towards the ceiling. Because you're going to go ahead, twist towards one side. One arm is going to go back, other hand's going to go forward. Your pinky finger is going to reach towards your toes as much as you can. Fold forward with the opposite hip staying down. Come right back up, and you're going to twist to the other side. Reach forward, pinky finger towards pinky toe, opposite hip down, and then come back up and twist. I just happen to have the thumb in front of me going up toward the ceiling and the thumb behind me going down towards the floor. It just feels nice, but I really don't care what direction the palms are facing. I care more about the twisting and the anchoring of your hips. I'm sharing this with you because this one's one of my favorites. I'm happy that it got thrown into the class today just because it brings me joy. It's also, from what I've heard feedback-wise from my clients, really helps with their lower back issues. So if you have anything going on with your lower back, maybe this might feel nice too. Let's do one more to either side. I don't remember what side I started with, so we'll call this the last one. I think it was this side, so maybe we'll do one more. Then go ahead, bring yourself back to center, shake it out. You're going to bring your legs together, and you're going to come down onto your side. Now, forearm. is going to be onto the mat, elbow underneath your shoulder, and your hips are going to be down. If you are using a pillow as a prop, you're just going to have it right underneath you, or even underneath your hip if you would prefer. But legs are touching. So hips, knees, ankles, and if you can, let your knees be in line with your hips. If not, a little bit forward is totally fine. Free hand can go in front of you or on your hips, but you're gonna lift up. Just lift the hips up, honor whatever that lift is, and then lower right back down. The pillow underneath your hips is helpful just to get yourself a little leverage to lift up and melt down, and keep going like this. A little bit of a side plank prep or a side bridge, whatever you want to call it, but keep your legs cemented together as you lift and lower. Now keep flowing like this. I like to establish a baseline in terms of if I give you anything else after this and you're like, yeah, I really don't like that, then that's fine. Forget it was an option and come back to whatever you were doing before. But if you're up for it, you're going to lift up, hold, open your leg, close your leg, and then lower yourself right back down. Keep flowing like that. Lift, open, close, and then lower down. So although the target is the obliques, butt cheek, legs, as in outer thigh and inner thigh, you're going to be feeling your shoulders quite a bit, or at least that's what I'm really feeling right now, as I have a little bit of hair sticking to the side of my face. I really hope you have some hair sticking to the side of your face too. However, you have it styled today. On your next one, adjust myself a little bit. You're going to lift up, hold, and just open and close your legs. Doing a little bit of extra spicy clams. And again, if this doesn't work for you, lower your hips, lift and lower the legs. But you're keeping the hips up if you can, so that way you can bring your obliques, mainly the ones that are closer to the floor, into the party, and just feel or embrace the burn that's happening in your shoulder as you flow for 3, 2, 1. Let yourself come down. Maybe you pound out your butt cheek, although the one that needs a stretch for me was the one that was closest to the floor. So you can also lie down, give yourself a figure 4 stretch. I'm crossing the leg that's closest to the camera, which is the left leg for me, and just pulling the right leg in towards my chest, grabbing behind my thighs. And you can flex your foot if you want to, if that deepens it a little bit more. I like a flexed foot. But we are just going to pancake and do that same jazz on the other side. So roll yourself up. Just bring your prop or your pillow to the other side. You're going to place it underneath your hip. And you're going to find yourself into your side kneeling-esque, or just side lying-esque. I say kneeling because my knees are bent, and that just translates to kneeling in my head. But I digress. Hand wherever you would like to. It's just a side bridge as you lift up and lower right back down. Legs staying as glued together as you can as you lift and lower. I'm also kind of enjoying that all you can see is my silhouette in the background, and you just have pretty lights, which for me today, I decided to decorate with candles. We've got the flicker candles, crystals, selenites cleansing the space for us. And that was it, just for safety reasons and fire codes. No sage or incense for obvious reasons. But selenite is an amazingly powerful crystal, very much known for cleansing and also clearing, specifically the crown chakra. Thank you for listening to that mini TED Talk on my crystals there. Because on your next one, you're going to lift, open the leg, close, and then melt yourself right back down. So go into your side bridge, add your clamshell, and then melt yourself back down. Mainly noticing how this side feels different from the other side. Do you feel stronger on this side? We're going to go with stronger on this side because, again, we're working on building that confidence and tapping into more of that fearless nature, or our lion courage, if you will. Oh, I like that. I'm going to start saying that from now on. It's our lion courage. Ooh. Okay. I'm starting to wonder how many reps we have left. So you're going to go ahead and lift up and just open and close the leg. I also wonder the same thing too, which is why I go by my stopwatch. Because sometimes the burn is real. Right now, I'm really feeling it in the side oblique, more so than in my shoulder. Other side, I felt my shoulder really taking on a lot of the work. Also, still the same thing. Booty closer to the mat. That's where the burn's going. You've got 5 more seconds. And you're going to go ahead and melt yourself down. Same thing. Maybe find yourself into a figure 4 stretch. So it is the leg closest to the camera again because I switched my position. We're going to cross that over. Grab your hands behind the opposite leg. Pull it in towards your chest. So now my right leg is bent and crossed over. Left leg, I'm wrapping my hands around and pulling my thigh in. Flex foot just because I enjoy it. And just breathe. Sink into it like a bag of cement. And maybe with each exhale, you pull your thigh closer in towards your t-shirt to deepen the stretch. I know I didn't say it on the other side, so if you feel like I gypped you is what's coming to mind, or like didn't give you the opportunity for the other side, then just go ahead, switch legs, pull it in, and use your breath to deepen it a little bit more. Then you're just going to bring your legs down, turn over onto your stomach, but don't, well, I say turn over into your stomach, but please don't actually like lay down on your stomach. We're going to come to a 4-point kneeling position. Hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and give yourself some cat-cows to start off with. So you're going to round eyes to thighs, really push your hands and your shins into the mat, and then flow into your back bend. Just flow up, arching your back, and then flow down, letting your stomach drop down towards the mat. And same thing as we started earlier. If you feel inclined to do some side bends, or if you want to add some circles, maybe do some disco cats, go for it. I have a debate with myself and my students that we don't know if disco cats feel nicer to do or if we just like saying them. I think it's a combination of both. And by we, I really mean to me, like it's a lot of fun to say disco cats. They're also a lot of fun to do and they just feel really good. But what I'd like you to do next is get yourself back into your start position. So AKA, you're just going to have a flat back. You're going to tuck your toes under and you're going to lift your knees to a hover and then melt them right back down. You're not staying up. You're just lifting and lowering. And the goal is to see how close can you keep your knees to the mat. So if I can't see them lift, which I mean, I can't. So for all I know, you could be keeping them on the mat and that's totally fine too. Doing some more cat-cows. But you want to keep them as low as you can. Then if I could see you, you would be like, I can't tell if they're lifting their knees off or not. Nice. On your next one, if you're up for it, I'd like you to lift and hold. If not, you're just going to keep doing those knee taps, but you're going to twist from side to side. Maybe your knee touches the mat, maybe it doesn't, but shoulders, they're staying square to the mat as much as you can, and you're just feeling the lower body twist. Toes are moving a little bit too, and I've got sweat dripping down my arm, going from my armpits, so I am hoping that you guys, or ladies, have some sweat coming down too. Last one on either side. Then you're going to go ahead and give yourself a moment. If you need to roll out your wrists, maybe place them onto the mat, reach back and come forward. Go for it. Because next, a little bit of a play on bird dogs, if you will. So you're going to go ahead, find yourself back into that 4-point kneeling position. I like to bring my leg out first because it's heavier and I want you to keep your hips square as much as you can. And then the other arm is going to reach forward. Get yourself nice and balanced. Keep yourself square. And then you're going to bend the elbow and the knee. Bring it closer to each other. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Round your spine. Release as you come right back. You're going to bend in and open up. And they don't have to touch. I just have the space for them to touch. If you don't, just go where you can. And I feel like this is a little too annoying, then open your arm and your leg out to the side, bending it closer to each other, and then reach. You're going to feel your side body or your obliques a little bit more doing that. Last one. Then you're going to keep the arm and the leg there. Open them out to the side as much as you can, keeping your torso square, and then bring yourself back to center. You're going to open up and then close. Continue to breathe, whoops, as you open and close. Wow, doing that with only my leg was way shakier than I thought. But I want to keep us on good time and at least keep us to that 30 seconds. It's more for me thing than anything else. But reach your arm and your leg out as you open and close, creating as much space as you can. Like I'm pulling you a little bit more towards the walls. Last one. Bring yourself back down. Shake it out. Because then we get to do that same jazz on the other side. So opposite arm's going to reach forward. Then the opposite leg. Get yourself nice and balanced. And then you're going to bend the elbow to your knee. Maybe it comes in towards your t-shirt, or maybe it goes out to the side. But you're going to keep on bending and bringing them closer together. However that works. I'm actually really liking this alternating back and forth business. So if you want to join me with that, that's totally fine too. I find my spine rounding as I come in and then staying flat as it goes out to the side. Let's do one more. Open up, hold, reach the arm and the leg out towards either side, keeping the core turned on, back nice and flat, and just breathe. And let's reset the stopwatch and just keep going. Reaching, noticing how this side feels different from the other side, and just looking down at the mat. Maybe your mat looks extra cute and you want to tell it and you're like, you're looking fabulous today, Matt. You're so pretty. I know I'm a special human. A client this week told me I have a very interesting and creative way of wording my Pilates words and cues. Go ahead, last one. Bring yourself back. Shake it out. Maybe you fall into a child's pose. Knees can go wide towards either mat. Hands can go in front of you and just sink down into the stretch as much as you can. And then if you want to, you can reach both hands towards one side. Give yourself a little bit more of a stretch, letting your hips sink back towards your heels. Maybe put your hands into the ground and push into it a little bit more. And when you breathe, think about that breath going into that side of your body, allowing yourself to get even bigger, taking up more space, and then exhale, sink a little deeper into it. Then go ahead, switch to the other side. Same thing. Mainly if you haven't switched to the other side, but let your hips sink back towards your heels. Reach your hands into the floor, pulling yourself further away to deepen the stretch, and just send the breath into your side body, allowing yourself to get bigger and then smaller with each exhale. And just focus on the breath. Inhale and exhale. And then you'll go ahead, bring yourself back to center. Take one hand, thread it underneath. Bring yourself to a little bit of a thread the needle. And same thing. Let one shoulder really come down heavy onto the mat. The other hand reaching towards the top. And try to inch both as far away as you can with your hips going back and heavy, just to feel that nice twist and opening going along the side and the back body. And breathe. Again, you're sending your breath into the area where you feel you need the stretch the most It might not be next to your lungs, but you're just creating a picture where it's like that's where the air is going. Then go ahead, bring yourself back to center and switch to the other side. Other arm's going to thread under. The other one's going to reach up and over, and you're going to inch your arms in either direction as much as you can. Hips back, and just breathe, sending your air into the area where you feel the deepest stretch. And with each exhale, try to sink yourself a little deeper. And just veg. For like one more breath, because then my stopwatch just started to go off. So you're going to go ahead, bring yourself back to center. Last little bit to end things off with is dynamic child's pose to cobra, or your vinyasa if you feel so inspired to do so. So basis is to just let your hips go back into that child's pose, and then rock your hips forward, come up, and then same thing. Come back, and then forward. Just flowing wherever it feels nice. And if you want a little bit more, then you just take your knees off the mat, go into the full vinyasa. You start with that pike up towards the ceiling, flow to the plank, push up down towards the floor, cobra up, and then you can either roll through your toes or flick your feet to come back up to your down dog / pike. And you're just going to go down, let the hips drop to the back bend, maybe knees touch, maybe they don't. Roll up and start again. And then same thing. You want to pause here, reach towards your opposite foot, because I just really like this stretch. So I want to share it with each of you so you have that moment to do so. And then same thing. You're taking your hand and you're reaching towards your opposite foot. Hips up towards the sky. Push the mat away. And then just sink into the stretch a little bit. And I want you to then unfold yourself. Come back into a sitting position and just breathe. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale out. Take a moment to feel proud of all the work that you put in today. Nice pat on the back. That was the flow that I woke up with. So awesome job. Thank you for joining me. For everyone that did, you did amazing. I hope you have a little bit of Pilates hair like I do, because my hair looks a little wild right now. But yes, thank you for joining me for this new moon and mat work new moon. I hope you feel restored, rejuvenated, confident, and just you feel good. Oh, yay, I'm glad you liked it. Again, I just hope right now, I just hope you feel good. Maybe happy, confident, and grounded. If you didn't get a chance to join the live, that's okay. It's going to be posted afterwards on my account. But right now, I basically just really want to express my gratitude to each of you. Seriously, give yourself a nice pat on the back. That was an awesome job. And treat yourself to something nice tonight. Maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking of a cookie right now. Or like some lemonade. I don't know, something nice and refreshing. But have an amazing evening, afternoon, or morning whenever you decide to find this. See you next time.